Hey, welcome back fighters, DravenDio here, and in this video, I just wanted to talk about the Avatar: The Last Airbender fighting game beta that just happened, because man, this game is looking to be something special. So I'm just going to have some matches running here in the background while I talk about it. I hope you enjoy. First off, if you're wondering if this game's good, the short answer to that, at least for me, is yes. This game felt amazing, at least in this beta, and it was simple to pick up and start doing things at first, and it felt really rewarding once I took some time in practice mode to learn the more complex things. The game looks absolutely gorgeous, the characters look like they jumped straight out of the show, and they all have amazing animations. Special shout out to the hilarious smear frames you get when somebody lands the final hit. Those were always making me laugh. All the characters feel really cool and unique, and they all have insanely flashy moves. But speaking of characters, this beta didn't have Zahir, Kiyoshi, or Ozai, but if they are as fun and unique as the ones we got, then this game is going to have a character for everyone, especially when that DLC rolls around. Vote for Kavira. So I want to talk a bit more about each character and just give some quick thoughts I had on the characters. Starting with Aang. It's kind of a shame that Aang doesn't use all the elements since he is the Avatar. He does mostly just use airbending, but the moves he does are very unique. He does have really unique movement also with his glider and air scooters, as well as some huge moves that can hit someone from insane ranges. He also has this wind move where he summons a constant gust of wind that every time it was up and I was trying to combo him, it would make my combo drop by changing his trajectory. So something to keep in mind as Aang, and when you're fighting Aang, when that wind's up you may have to learn different combos, which is pretty unique to him. But overall, Aang seems like a really solid character, and I'm pretty sure people who are big fans of Aang are gonna enjoy him. Next up, let's talk about Zuko. Zuko is insane. Granted, I do hear that he got nerfed from the last beta, but in this beta, he still seems like a monster of a character. He has great keep out with his various fireballs. He's got a flame carpet to whittle down someone's life while they try and block. He's got a sword parry to help him on defense, and he has some absolute war crimes disguised as moves. For starters, he has this air fireball. And that thing was driving me nuts because not only does it fly at an amazing angle, it also starts a little disjointed from where you think it's going to be. So not only is it a great downward diagonal angle, but it hits in front of him a little bit more than you think it's going to. And the icing on the cake is it actually leads to a full combo on hit, which is absolutely insane, and I lost so many rounds to it. And I'm sure I will continue to lose rounds to it once the game releases. Overall, Zuko's looking amazing. He seems like he's gonna be really strong and fun, and everyone loves Zuko, so I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of him. Now let's talk about Katara, because this character I saw the least of, and most of the ones I fought didn't really know what they were doing yet. But based on her move list and things I've seen on Twitch and YouTube and things like that, is this character not only looks really rewarding for the people that take time to learn her, but she's gonna have great mix-ups, long hitting buttons, some great set play, and I mean, all of the options out of her stance seem good. She seems like she's going to be really rewarding and have some really stylish combos. But because I didn't experience a lot of that, I'm not going to talk too much on her. I'm going to go ahead and move on to someone who has some seriously stylish combos, which is Toph. Seems like she is going to be the character that new players love because she has abusable moves with lots of armor and really crazy disjointed hitboxes. And then it also seems like players that stick with her and really take the time to learn her are also gonna love her, because she has some insane player expression with absolute insane combos. Some of the coolest combos I saw in the beta came from Toph. She pulls a straight Aganos where she makes a wall, gets you into a corner of her own making. She even raises herself up on a pillar and begins to throw rocks at you and do all kinds of crazy stuff to just hit you with a super damaging long combo. And of course she does have that command grab, which can lead to some really awesome moments also. She looks absolutely insane. I'm sure there's going to be tons of people playing her, and for good reason, because she's going to be awesome. Next up, we got to talk about a character that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with right now, which is Sokka. Sokka in this game is such a weirdo. He just runs all across the screen throwing boomerangs and taking big swings with his club and sword. Now, Sokka, I think, has two very cool support characters that make him a pretty cool character, and he has one that makes him probably the most boring character in the beta, and to be honest, I hope they either remove it or change it in a drastic way. And that one that I'm talking about would happen to be Pian Dao as his support character, which I've been calling Sword Sokka. So basically what that does is every time he hits a sword move, it'll level up his sword attacks, making them do more damage. As far as I know, I think that's all it does. And it just leads to a super boring playstyle where he's just trying to do big sword swings and level up his sword. And if he gets this big uppercut one, it leads to the most boring combo that does so much damage. Like, a boring combo should never do lots of damage. And he just does the same move over and over for like a 15-hit combo or something. Gets a bunch of sword stuff, which makes his sword do even more damage. And it's just boring to fight. I'm sure it's boring to play. So hopefully they change that. But his other two variations seem really awesome. I especially like the one where he can attach a rope to his boomerang. That leads to some really funny emergent gameplay. So yeah, outside of Sword Sokka, he seems really fun and cool to play. And I hope we see more of at least those two variations when the game comes out. But going from probably the most unique character in the beta, let's go ahead and talk about probably the least unique character in the beta, which is Soul Bad Guy, aka Korra. All jokes aside, Korra is awesome. She does have some really cool looking combos in this game, while also having some really tricky movement options and great range on her buttons. She has an invincible DP that, if I'm remembering right, doesn't even cost resources, which is crazy. And obviously it is Korra, so everything she does is going to look badass, and she really uses all the elements, unlike Aang, who really only uses airbending. She's pretty unga bunga at first glance, and when she hits you, you can definitely say goodbye to your health bar because it's gonna hurt. She's really fun, got lots of options. She kind of feels like an all-rounder character with, she can basically do anything. And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna play her also when the game comes out. But lastly, we gotta talk about the white man's Magneto herself, Azula. Now, Azula has two forms, and they both play very differently. I played Fire Lord Azula, which is more of the rushdown option. But before that, my first thoughts on Focused Azula, which is more of a zoner, is that she is extremely tricky and can pull off some amazing things with her double air dash, as well as being an insane zoner with her air fireballs and things like that. She also has some decent set play with her Flame Kiss and her Embers that she could put on the battlefield. But Fire Lord Azula, for me, at least for me, is where the fun really begins, because talk about a character that is just always in your face, dashing into you, hitting that crazy jump heavy. She's using her flame wall and lightning to stop the opponent's aggression while also setting up for hers. I do think the best way to play Azula will probably end up being use the variation that lets you play both Focused and Fire Lord, because it also gives you longer traps. And those traps are pretty good, but I would rather just go crazy and run the set with Fire Lord Azula. As a whole, both variations have insane mobility and really fun looking combos with her air dashing and stuff. And I'm sure she's going to be super popular, and I kind of hate that that's the character I'm probably going to play, because there's going to be so many of them, it's going to be hard to stick out. But hopefully I can, you know, add my own flair to Fire Lord Azula and really show off a bit. Can't wait for this game to come out. Some other quick thoughts are the stages look great. My favorite in this beta was definitely Republic City. It just felt really alive. It had like these little leaves that would blow across it, which would scare me on times because I'd be like, what the hell is that? But yeah, it's just a great looking stage. There's not a bad stage in the game from what I can tell so far. Talking about the music, if you liked Avatar music, you're going to like the music in this game. It's exactly what you'd expect from Avatar. The animations, again, absolutely insane. Those smear frames at the ending hit are just absolutely hilarious. I might even say this is like one of the best looking fighting games of the last 5 or 6 years. Like all the in-between animations, in-between frames, everything like that just looked so good. Everything looks fluid, everything's moving around. It's just beautiful. Can't sing its praises enough on how good it looks. That's about it, guys. I cannot wait for this game to release. I hope to see all of you in there learning how to bend the elements with me. I've been DravenDio. Keep practicing and keep fighting. Peace, peace.